Hi, it's Stephen here from Sound of a Nation Wave, and this is day 29 of the January Daily Draws. So as we close out the weekend and approach a new week, let's see what kind of message we're going to get. And I'll be taking first card from the Oriens Animal Tarot, followed by an oracle card from the Goddesses, Gods and Guardians Oracle deck. So let's choose our first card and get the reading underway. Okay, and today we will go there. And our card is the Hanged One, which is always to me about getting a new perspective. And it can be about literally hanging in suspension, suspending things, taking a pause. But mainly it's doing what we need to get the insight that we need, and maybe go outside of our comfort zone, going to something that we're not used to see, and sometimes to see things in a different way, contrary to what we've always held, can be a little bit challenging and uncomfortable. But this is all about changing our perspective on something, getting a new or adapting our perspective. It may not be totally changing it, but it may be evolving. The perspective may evolve and slightly change to what our perspective has been, and we need that change in order to progress, to move forward. And I know that this is relevant to me because I've been going through seeing certain things from a different perspective, and that's been both challenging, thought-provoking, but I know that it's part of what I need to grasp in order to be able to grow and to move forward. And it's that kind of thing that this card is referring to. So maybe as we approach this new week, we got to be willing to see things from a different perspective. Don't judge things, don't assess things, don't look at things the same old way, perhaps, or at least a certain thing or a situation or a person. See it from try and see it from a different side, if only in theory, just to see what thoughts and what insights that gives. Okay, I'm not saying that you necessarily have to change your core beliefs, but the way those core beliefs are expressed and filtered can change by the different kinds of filters. We have with the social media, where you can put a filter on a photo or something to give it a different look. It's still the same photo in essence. It's still the same picture, but it's filtered through a certain thing to give a certain appearance and an understanding and convey a certain image. And so the situation or the person or whatever it is may not in essence be any different, but the way that we see it and the way that and the message that gives to us can change. So what I'm saying is, it's not necessarily your core values and beliefs, unless they're totally wrong and you need to change them. But I would guess that really that you have to be true to yourself, and if that's your core values and that's who you are, then I'm not asking you to change that. But what I'm saying is, quite often we see things through a prism of understanding that can evolve and change and bring different insights to us. Separate to a core value. It's more of the insights, the way that we perceive things, and just in theory, we don't necessarily need to change anything permanently. At the very least, we can imagine what it's like to see it try and imagine it from a different angle, a different perspective. Even if you don't then keep that perspective, you go back to your original one. At least if you are aware that there is another way of looking at it, even if you don't necessarily hold to it, but then you can respect other people that maybe have a different perspective to you, because you yourself have imagined a different perspective and seen it from a different perspective, so you know that they're not just being difficult, it's just how they're seeing things. So I hope that I didn't get too rambly and jumbled up there. There's lots of things going on, but the key thing here is at least be willing to see things from a new perspective. And and if it makes you uncomfortable at first to look at something, and if it's a challenge, then so be it. That's what's necessary, perhaps, to get the insight. That's the price you're paying for the insight, the guidance, the growth that you're moving into. So let's be willing to always be open-minded, to see things from new angles, to see different side of things. Doesn't mean that we suddenly lose what we've already seen. We may still see that. It's like the different facets of a diamond. Just because we see one side, it doesn't mean that there aren't any others. And if we see one of the others, the side we originally saw, the facet that we originally saw of that diamond, still exists. It's still there. We've just seen something extra, a new facet to the same thing that makes up the whole. So let's be open-minded and be willing to change our perspective where necessary. So let's see which goddess, god, or guardian comes to give us any insight today. Okay, here we go. And today we will go here. And we have Apollo, divine messages. He's the sun god, the sun, the light, the illumination that's coming. The messages will come, perhaps through gaining that new perspective. We will see and hear and receive from that new perspective new messages that will help us and guide us. And maybe we'll receive a message that will alter our perspective on something. Maybe some revelation will come to us and we thought, oh, I've never thought of it that way. And that changes your perspective. So it's all about the challenge of gaining new perspectives on things and being willing to be open-minded to go with it. And that is today's message. Okay, I'll be back tomorrow for the start of the new week with day 30. Until then, thank you for listening. Take care, everyone, and I'll see you all again very soon. Okay, bye-bye.